being around so many people, having so many people watch you, being in the kind of limelight. Those are things that I wasn't so used to in the beginning, and they used to throw me off balance. But now I feel like I'm way better at all of that, and I'm more comfortable in my own skin now.
Hi Raina.
Hello.
Welcome to SpotboyE.
Thank you.
We'll come very soon to your comeback film, I would say, Happy Bhag Jayegi. But tell us, where did you disappear after that amazing debut which you made in Cocktail?
I mean, I didn't really, there was never some plan to disappear or take off, or as people say, leave cinema, whatever. I'd never had any fixed plan in mind. It just, time went by. I was meeting people for another movie, reading scripts, all of that, and nothing ever really clicked for me. So I didn't put any pressure on myself that, I have to get something within so and so time, otherwise, that's the end of the world. So I kind of just took my time about it. I didn't, I wanted to find what was right for me and what I felt right doing before I took on another project. So I think that's how it took a while for me. And but I don't see it as being such a bad thing. It's just unconventional, maybe, an unconventional way of going about, post a first film. And eventually I met Anand sir and Mudassar for Happy Bhag Jayegi, and that was maybe 3 years after Cocktail. 2.5, 3 years, whatever, the first time I met them.
Yeah.
Read the script and it just clicked, and that's when I knew that that's what I wanted to do. Until then I hadn't come across that script or story or character that just clicked with me. So I decided to wait it out. But it was not like some planned affair. I decided to just play it by ear and see how it goes.
But 4 years is a very long time in Bollywood.
It is, I know, that's what everyone says, but it didn't matter to me, to be honest. Like personally, I didn't take it as, as a stressful thing, or like I didn't have this plan where I said I have to find something within, this time period or time limit or whatever. I didn't put that pressure on myself. So I guess, yeah, for a lot of people it is, when you look at it from the outside, it sounds like a long time, but somehow kept myself busy, and I just let it flow on its own.
What was the response you got? I think the first half of that film belonged entirely to you. What was the response you got on your...
I definitely got a good response, way more than I'd ever expected. I won't say it was all about me. I definitely think that Saif and Deepika had, totally killed it as well. In fact, Deepika...
Yeah, but Deepika takes over in the second half.
Yeah, she takes the cake. And but the kind of role that it was for my first, my first appearance ever on the big screen, my first acting job. I've never had any formal training before that. So for me, that was huge. And I was very grateful that it came along, and, I feel like somebody's watching over me from above. It kind of just came to me without much effort or looking or whatever. I was doing something else. I was modeling in those days. I wasn't really actively looking for a role to play in Bollywood. And it kind of just happened, and very soon, it literally happened overnight. I auditioned, and the next day they said, "You're on." So for me, that was a big deal. Like, it was probably the biggest thing that happened in my life at that time. And I'm very grateful. The response was really good. I had no idea what to expect from it, but mostly everybody had nice things to say. And I guess in my mind, I was thinking, I can't expect everybody to like this. Everyone has and is entitled to their own opinions. I was expecting to get trashed, here and there, whatever. There'd be some people that I like it, some that don't, and that was fine by me. But it turned out that I think 90% out of 100 liked it and liked what I did. So thank you.
So
I was just grateful.
So what's so special about Happy Bhag Jayegi when it came to you? I mean, it looks entirely different from Cocktail. Your look.
That's what was special for me. Well, I read the script and I was like, whoa, this kind of story, it was more kind of comedy oriented, the genre. So again, completely different from Cocktail, which was more like, a rom-com, more intense, it's a different zone altogether. The styling, the character, where the character's from, that was kind of more, even though she was also Punjabi and a girl from Delhi, it was set in London. It was slightly more urban feel. This was like the opposite in all these aspects. So I think that just I read it for the first time, and it didn't even strike me that I would be interested in something like that, because it's so far away from where I come from and where I've grown up and, my world, that I read it and I was like, hey, why not do this? Because this could be exciting, this could be challenging. It definitely was challenging. So if now that it has been, as long as it's been, and everyone's saying, oh, 4 years, this, that, wouldn't it be interesting to do something completely different and something that nobody would expect? I mean, I guess, would you expect that after Cocktail I do something so different? I don't know, would you? Because I wouldn't. So I thought that would be a good way
But
to
was it
start
easy
again.
for you to speak aloud?
No.
Keep your inhibitions
It
aside?
took a while.
Because we saw a very shy girl
Yeah.
in Cocktail,
And that's how I was back then. Like 3 years, 4 years ago, I was way more inhibited and reserved and quiet, and I guess with time I've opened up a bit and become more confident. And this role did require me to work on those parts of me that and my personality that are that quiet, shy, person. So it took a lot. It was like coming out of my shell almost, talking louder. Even in my daily conversation, I speak quite softly, whereas Happy
Yeah,
is
I
like,
can see
it was a strain on my voice in the beginning, but then you get used to it, and that's what workshopping is all about, which I find very important. Like prepping for me is key. So I gave those, 3-4 months, whatever it was, to invest, like just completely invested in this role. Worked every day on it, whatever it was, even for small things, observing people, spending a few days in Amritsar, watching films, watching Punjabi films, YouTubing videos from like Punjabi films to see characters, how they dress, getting into the cultural aspect. So all those things, it kind of just stays in your mind, and it helps you when you're actually playing the character. So I did all of that, and I gave a lot of time to it.
It must have been an experience to work with Abhay. I think both of you come from the same school and college as well. Because
Abhay,
he also
no.
disappears, he does films very selectively.
Oh, that way. Yeah, it was. I mean, the first time I met him was on this film, and I've always been a fan, like I've said, of the kind of work he's done in the past and the work he does. He also is very selective and content driven, and similar opinions in terms of the kind of films, the sensibilities. So yeah, it was a very good experience working with him. He's also very natural, and he's a very real actor, which makes it easier for the other person to react of him. So for a film like this, which is not in my comfort zone, like it's not in my familiar space, it helped having that kind of actor to act opposite of, because he just made it that much easier for me.
Tell me how you're taking this career now ahead after this. What is the plan? I mean, what are you looking at? Are you looking at, say, let's say if it's a multi-star film, would you do a multi-star film?
I don't approach things the way, I don't know, maybe it's not conventional or whatever, but I like reading a script and knowing what it's about, knowing what the character is that I'm to play, and everything else is secondary for me. So it doesn't matter, whether it's multi-star or not multi-star, or if it's like, for me, it's the role and the story. And if I feel like if it's an impactful role, then it doesn't matter, honestly. So, but it needs to have some substance, of course, and it needs to be impactful.
So we need to know about this role, Happy Bhag Jayegi. What is it all about, which has made you really throw yourself so much into it?
Well, to begin with, it's completely the opposite of Meera from Cocktail. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to do it in the first place. She's this loud mouth, like feisty, Amritsari, staunch Amritsari girl who's got like opinions of her own. She's stubborn, she's independent, jugadu, as they say, and she lives life on her own terms. Very brave, very she's kind of like the guy in her family, if you know what I mean. Kind of tomboyish, she's not from any angle like dainty or any of that. So that was something very interesting for me, and I wanted to play for me, I found that like a very independent, strong character, and it's something that I really wanted to do.
Were these workshops which you did easy? How easy were
It took a while in the beginning to break into it.
Yeah.
Because
to
go from
come out from the shell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that took a bit, but then once I got over that initial few days, of like shouting things out and being really loud generally, and even in my body language, and not just my voice, but like being a animated person, then it got easier, and then I kind of like got used to it and broke into it.
Have you changed as a person in real life also over the years? Or
No, I mean,
because you said you were almost
I'm
similar
not.
to what you were in Cocktail earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I was not that extreme, of course, but I'm definitely more confident about things, about my work, about facing a camera, being around so many people, having so many people watch you, being in the kind of limelight. Those are things that I wasn't so used to in the beginning, and they used to throw me off balance. But now I feel like I'm way better at all of that, and I'm more comfortable in my own skin now. So I think with time has come confidence.
How was it being directed by Mudassar?
It was great.
He hasn't made too many movies, so
Yeah, but when I first met him and he narrated the script to me is when it struck me that this guy has invested so much in this story. He has written it from scratch. He has created his own characters. The whole script is written by him. The dialogues, everything. Even the lyrics of all the songs are his. So I realized how well he knew his story and how well he knew his characters, which is I think his strengths, his major strength. Because when he's directing, then he knows exactly what he wants from you as a character, as like Happy in the story, and he knows exactly what he wants in that scene. So he helped a lot with the character, with Happy's character for me, because he explained to me where she comes from, why she behaves a certain way, what she would do in a certain situation. He knew it, like I could ask him and he wouldn't even think twice, he'd just answer. It was good working with him because he really helped me play my part better, because there were things that he knew about Happy that I wouldn't have thought of on my own. So yeah.
So tell me, how are you? Now going to go ahead. I mean, are you going to be that selective, or are you?
I'm going to
see
play it by
more
ear. I've always
frequently?
played things by ear, so I'm not going to change my approach. But I'm definitely. I mean, I definitely want to do something soon. I'm not going to disappear, as you guys call it. And I'm looking for something to do next. And I'm meeting people, reading stuff, and hopefully something will click soon.
Nervous about the box office of your
I'm
film,
always
which I would
nervous.
say now is a comeback.
Of course, yeah. Excited also, but nervous also. Just got my fingers crossed. I hope people like it.
Thank you, Raina. Thank you for
Thank
being
you
on
very
SpotboyE.
much.
Wish
Thank
you
you.
all the best.
Thank you.
Wish